Okay, in this video we're going to go over the Ryken Geometry Final information, and we'll cover sections 5.4 and 5.5. So 5.4 deals with medians and altitudes. So both medians and altitudes begin or start from the vertex of a triangle. So the vertex is the angles. So these are vertices, or each one's a vertex. Okay, so that's where they start from. The median goes from the vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side, and the altitude goes from the vertex to the opposite side and forms a right angle. Okay, our focus right now will be on medians. Okay, so let's highlight that in yellow. So here's our focus. Our focus will be on the medians. Okay, that was not really good highlighting, was it? Okay, so let's make that a little bit lighter. Can I make that less? No. Okay, so we won't do that highlighting. Okay, so let me just underline it. So our focus is going to be on medians. We will do altitudes later on. So in figure 5, what is happening is you have 3 medians inside this triangle. So the first median is BF. A median, by definition, starts at a vertex, that's a vertex, and it's going to divide the opposite side in half. Okay, another median is starting at A and going to E and dividing that opposite side in half. And this third median starts at C and goes to D and divides this in half, or into 2 equal pieces. So this is what's happening with the median. Then you have a really neat thing happen. Each median line, so for example, BF is a median line. So here is my median I'm going to talk about right here, BF. So from B to G, so from the vertex to the, what's this called? Oh, it's called a centroid. So this point right here is the centroid. Okay, so that's a centroid. So from the vertex to the centroid is 2/3 of the length of the full median. Okay, then from the centroid to the opposite side, that is 1/3 of the length of the entire median. That happens for each of those 3 medians. So the piece from the vertex to the centroid is always the longer piece. That's 2/3 of the length. And the length meaning the length of BF, the whole red line. Then from the centroid to F is another 1/3. 1/3 plus 2/3 equals 1 whole. Okay, so that's what's going on here. I'm going to pause the video, erase my decorations so that I can answer the questions, and redecorate as needed. Okay, so now let's start looking at our questions. It says, note that D, E, and F are all midpoints, and G is the centroid. Okay, so D, E, and F are all midpoints, and they intersect at the centroid, which is G. Okay, if BF is 15, so if this entire piece is 15, what is BG? So now I want to know just this little piece right here. That is the longer of the 2 pieces. That is 2/3 of the length of the median. If the median is 15, 2/3 of, or times, 15 gives me, okay, the 3 can go into the 15 5 times, and then multiply straight across. That's going to equal 10. So BG is 10. So then it goes on to say, okay, so if BF is 15, what's the length of GF? Okay, so GF, so let's just change colors a little bit. Here is GF. If the whole thing is 15, and I just figured out that BF is 10, okay, so this 10 is the BG. So what's the length of GF? Well, if the whole thing is 10, if the whole thing is 15 and the bigger piece is 10, then I could say 15 minus 10 leaves me with 5 for the little piece. So that's going to be 5. What else could I have said? Well, the little piece is 1/3 the length of the median. So that means that 1/3 of 15, or 1/3 times 15, the 3 goes into 15 5 times, now multiply straight across, 5 times 1 equals 5, and I get the same exact answer. Okay, so you can either use the relationship that the smaller piece is 1/5 of the whole piece, or that since you know the bigger piece, the BG, is 10, you have 5 remaining to make up BF of 15. Okay, so I'm going to erase the slide and do the next 2 questions. Okay, looking at question number 21 now, I started setting up some things. So remember that these are medians, and so it says if BE is 8, what is EC? Well, we have to remember that E is the midpoint of this whole line segment BC. So if half of it is 8, the other half has to be 8 as well. So if BE is 8, then EC is also 8, because E is a midpoint. Okay, that's what medians are. They come from the vertex and they cut the opposite side in 2 equal parts. So by definition, the midpoint cuts segment BC into 2 equal parts. So each of them is 8, since they told me that BE was 8. Okay, so we can keep this color on there, and let's change colors for question 22. So question 22 says, if DG, okay, so now we're talking about this median right here, DG. So DG. If DG is 2, so the shorter section, that's 1/3 of the whole, that's 2. Determine the length of GC and of DC. So, a couple of things we can talk about. So I know that DG equals 1/3 of DC. So fill in what we know. I know that DG is 2. So 2 is 1/3 of DC. Okay, I want to get DC by itself. So multiply by 3/1. Those cancel, become a 1. Multiply by 3/1, which is really just 3. So I get DC equals 6. Okay, so DC is the whole piece. That's this. This is 6. So I can do a couple of things. If I just figured out that this entire piece is 6, then this must be 4, because 4 plus 2 equals 6. So GC is 4. What have I just found out? Look how DG and CC and GC are related. DG is half of GC. So that's kind of an interesting little sideline. So once I see that pattern, I can capitalize on it every time. So if they tell me that DG is 3, then I know that GC must be 6, because it's going to always be double it. If DG is 5, then GC has to be twice that, which would be 10. So you always have that relationship. What else do I know? Well, first I figured out that DC was 6. So GC equals 2/3, right? 2/3 of the entire piece of DC. Since I know that DC was 6 from the previous question, then GC has to be 6 times 2/3. Those can cancel to get a 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And I can get that 4 that way as well. So you have a lot of relationships. The big things you want to know is that you have this piece right here that I am pointing to, right here. That is 2/3 of the entire piece. This little piece here is 1/3 of the entire piece. So you have all kinds of relationships within a triangle when you have these medians present. When those medians intercept all at the centroid, okay, that's that point G in the middle, nice relationships happen. So that ends the 5-4, and you can certainly go back and look at your test for Chapter 5 and your test review for Chapter 5 and learn more about medians, because medians are our focus here. Let's go on the next page and we will do 5-5, which is using inequalities in a triangle. So it says, if two sides of a triangle are 10 and 15, what are the possible lengths of the third side? So I said put x in the middle, x is the third side, subtract the two given numbers, 15 minus 10 is 5, you won't get any negatives, and then add the two numbers, and 10 and 15 is 25. So what this is telling me is the following. If I have a triangle, and this side is 10, and this side is 15, then the x has to be between greater than 5, but less than 25. Okay? So that's how you tell you have a triangle. So if the number was 28, I don't have a triangle. If the number was 2, I don't have a triangle. So again, think about this. We've done this on the quiz for the section and also for the Chapter 5 test. That is on that as well and in the review packet. So if you need more help with this, you may go back and look at your note packet and look at those other assessments. So this completes the video on 5-4 and 5-5.